Welcome, hey guys. Welcome to R.age, and today it's tech and game time. I'm Bryan.
I'm Daryl.
Yeah, and we're here. We're gonna review a couple of games today. One game today. And Daryl's gonna help me out.
That's
and
right.
We're gonna do video games. An Xbox 360 game. It's called Two Human.
Okay, and for the second half, we'll be looking at the latest touch phones, the HTC Touch Pro and the Samsung Omnia.
That's right.
Okay, but first, game review time. Two Human is a role-playing video game by Canadian developer Silicon Knights, exclusively for the Xbox 360. Not unlike the game franchises Mass Effect and Halo, Two Human is the first installment in a planned trilogy.
That's right. Now, Two Human was originally intended as a 4-disc action-adventure game for the PlayStation 1. It then went on to be in development for the Nintendo GameCube, ultimately signing under the Microsoft banner in 2005. So the hype had been building as early as 1999. It takes its name from the Friedrich Nietzsche book entitled Human, All Too Human.
Whoa, that's
Now,
quite
okay,
deep.
yeah. Two Human is based on Norse mythology. However, Silicon Knights took it and infused it with a cyber/techno/biopunk science fiction theme, okay? Now, the player takes on the role of Baldur. In Norse mythology, Baldur is known as the god of light. In Two Human, the Norse gods are known as the Aesir. And the Aesir are in fact cybernetically enhanced human beings, tasked to lead and protect humankind. Now, Baldur is tasked to defend the human race from an approaching army of sentient machines hell-bent on harvesting humans. Interesting to note that the Norse gods are enhancing themselves with cybernetics to challenge these machines, who are in turn harvesting humans to become less robotic in nature.
Whoa, that's quite heavy,
yeah,
man.
It's heavy. It's deep. It's deep. Okay. Baldur experiences an identity crisis of sorts as he suffers from post-traumatic amnesia, as well as having to choose to be more cybernetically enhanced or to retain what human physiology he has left, thus being deemed by the other Norse gods as Too Human. Now, Now, this focus on techno-progressivism is not just a cog in the narrative, but an important facet to the gameplay. Depending on the alignment you choose, the human alignment or the cybernetic alignment, you will receive different benefits. Now, the human alignment gives you the ability to summon spiritual companions to form like a ruiner, which are like this powerful area damage ability, like special, so to speak. And your cybernetic alignment, if you choose, you'll get the ability to use larger, more powerful guns such as cannons and stuff like that. Now, Two Human has no substantial side missions, and without much room for narrative tangents and non-linear story structure, the world of Two Human lacks interactive depth. The transit between non-player characters should be an immersive environment, but instead in Two Human it feels like a chore. Now the story is watered down for simplicity, but that simplicity can confuse the player, especially one without prior knowledge of Norse mythology. And how many of us actually have knowledge of Norse mythology? Yeah. Anyway, stylistically, Two Human gives a nod to games like Mass Effect, and to a lesser degree Halo, and all incredible games in their own right. They all look incredible. Now, I mean, we'll take a look at Daryl helping me out play this game. Now, I like what Silicon Knights has done, introducing an artificial intelligence enabled camera, AI enabled camera. This allows the player to use the right analog stick to dish out melee attacks. You can go fight those robots. Now, with that said, the melee gameplay seems unresponsive, and so is the auto targeting system for ranged weapons. When you show these guys how to shoot. Use the triggers and shoot these guys.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot this guy with my double barrel gun. Okay, only double pistol gun. Okay, apparently it only affects I can only shoot when I'm nearer the person. If I'm too far, targeting doesn't really work. So it's a bit hard to auto target as well.
You should run ahead and grab the whole bunch of robots over there.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is that melee it feels kind of like you gotta force the stick a little bit.
Yep.
And the camera doesn't really lock onto the target. And whenever you're shooting something, when you're bogged down by these throngs and throngs of enemies, as you can see, it's really hard to try to really surgically take them out one at a time.
Oh.
Okay. In short, the AI-enabled camera is the weakest link in the game. But I must say the most thrilling part, as you can see...
Because you want to see what you're going to kill.
You want to see what you're going to kill. And I mean, if the camera's just moving by itself and it has a mind of its own, it's funny. The funny thing is that the game tries to be innovative, which I give the thumbs up. But I mean, if you fall short of being innovative, it's just going to be pretty much
no Runa
crap. So anyway, I must say the most thrilling part of the game is being overrun by ridiculous amounts of enemies, much like the ones in like games like Diablo and like Devil May Cry. As you can see, the action is like fast-paced and like hectic, and the player is rewarded for their survival if Daryl can survive this.
I'm trying to survive here.
This onslaught. Okay, well. The player is rewarded with experience and loot, and that is what RPGs are all about, experience and loot. Because experience and loot can make you more powerful. Loot dropping into human is almost as frequent as the enemies that bombard you in waves, as you can see. Some might think this a bad idea, but with so many different weapons and skills to choose from, it just makes kicking ass more fun. Okay, so well, the bottom line is 2 human plays like a 1990s RPG with much better graphics. This is not to say it is bad, but it just doesn't quite hit the benchmark of today's standards in terms of story and gameplay. But it does do well in graphics and replayability. I personally do like 2 Human, not for what it is right now, but for what it will be in the future. I recommend anyone to get this game, if anything, to not miss the first part of what I think will be an extremely good video game trilogy. Provided the developers address the evident problems. I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 10. What do you think, Daryl?
Okay, I think because I'm having a lot of trouble with it.
Come on, man, attack the guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to attack, but I think I'm going to die soon. Okay, anyway, I think I'll give it about... Okay, I'll give it 8 just for graphics, man.
Okay.
I'm a very visual person,
yeah,
so I give it 8 for graphics, but the camera sort of minuses about a 1 because, I really want to see what I'm hitting.
So now we're down to 7.
7, yeah.
How about story?
Story, I think, I like the mythological, I died.
Okay, you died. Okay. And for dying, you get punished.
Yeah. Okay, I like the mythological, elements and all that.
Yep,
that's right. Bringing in, all these gods and all that. Mm-hmm. Definitely agree with that, but I think you have to really take a very different spin. I think the cybernetic thing has been done before, many times, right?
But I think the cybernetic, the whole cyberpunk thing infused with this whole Norse mythology, it actually makes the stories more palatable to a younger generation,
Yep,
so all these younger kids, who and the story and the game differentiates itself from other RPGs, which are always, more often not always, in this fantasy sort of settings.
Yeah.
So as an RPG game, it'll be cool that it has sci-fi elements. I mean, that's why I think the story has potential, but it's just not fleshed out really well. Not many people are familiar with Norse mythology, and it's kind of I don't know.
Yeah, Norse mythology is a bit
heavy-handed sometimes.
Yeah.
And if you water it down, it just loses all
because the heavy-handedness is. I mean, some people appreciate Shakespeare and all that, because it's so heavy,
Yeah.
And if I'm not wrong, I think the game developer didn't like the way it was going, right?
Yeah, the funny thing is that the game came out and the reviews were mixed. More often than not, they were negative.
Yeah.
And the game developer actually went onto game forums and started attacking these gamers, saying, you don't know what you're talking about. This forum sucks, And I mean, it's kind of like a director who puts his heart and soul in a film, and when it comes out, it gets really bad reviews. It gets panned, and I'm sure it can get kind of personal. See, I don't think 2 Human is a broken game.
Yep.
I just think it's slightly flawed.
Yep. And but there's bound to be a target market for this, because a lot of games that I see, I think are very flawed, but there's still such a huge fan base. So you never know when somebody might like it. So games are really very subjective, right?
Yeah, I don't think this game is niche, because I think the science fiction element is really, I don't know, is more prevalent in RPGs nowadays.
Yep. Especially after the Final Fantasy series,
yeah,
right?
and that Final Fantasy kind of infused fantasy with this cyber sort of magic, and more steampunk. But this is more like cyberpunk, and I think it does work well. I just wish they didn't put too much emphasis on the whole Norse mythology.
Yeah.
If they could put the cyberpunk elements into a different story, a more original story, I think the game would have worked out a little bit more. But I do think the camera is the worst part of the game. What do you think?
I do get a bit of a headache when I'm looking at the camera, actually.
Yeah.
And plus, I won't pride myself in being a very good FPS first-person shooter player. I do get headaches when I play those, but I think this one's a bit too quick when you go, and plus you can't really direct it.
Okay, I tell you what. I give it an 8. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. How much do you give it?
7.
7? Well, there you have it. 7.5 from me, and 7 from Daryl.
Yep.
And we're just going to go for a break, and we'll be back with touch phones. Stay with us.